I could not believe earlier when I came into your office and you got the cat in there and you got the cat box in there and it smelled to high heaven.
Yeah, Miss Olive took a dump.
Well, and it's an auto self-cleaning litter box, so it's not like it was dirty or anything. So this was like just her fresh
She had literally
poop.
gotten out of the litter box like a minute before you came in.
Yeah, fresh poop. It was nasty. But you said something that you have something about poop for us to talk about.
Yep, I have an Am I the Asshole. Care to explain to everybody how it works?
Yes. So we're going to do an Am I the Asshole segment. Basically, Torya has found an Am I the Asshole somewhere on the internet. Generally speaking, they originate from Reddit. She finds that, she looks at it, she kind of tells me what the overall topic is. Like, this I know happens to be about poop. That's all I know about it. Literally, that's it. I've never heard it, never heard the story, nothing.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Am I the asshole for pointing out a fecal smear on my partner's bathroom window? Backstory. My partner, his 3 boys, and father live in a house, and in my opinion, it's disgusting. The first 5 months of our relationship, I stayed there often and cleaned it, and put an effort to help him have a more sanitary home. No one else helps. If I'm being honest, I feel like his father would intentionally make more messes because I was cleaning. So I stopped. I don't criticize him or say anything except that I prefer to be at my house and I'm not comfortable with that level of mess. Last week he expressed that he was angry that we never stay there when we're together. We happened to stop there this weekend and I used the restroom. I looked to my right and at eye level was a huge smear of dried number 2. The bathroom as a whole is what you'd expect from a house of 2 men and 3 little boys. There's zero chance no one else noticed this. They just don't care. So I went to him and jokingly said, if you're ever wondering why I'm not comfortable here, take a look at the bathroom window, and that's my answer. This turned into a huge fight that he's embarrassed to have me even use the restroom there and all the words. He said I shouldn't have said anything. Am I the asshole for pointing out the poop smear?
I guess it depends on why you pointed it out.
She literally said she pointed it out as an example of why she's not comfortable staying there.
Then yeah, I think you're an asshole. I think if you're trying to help him make things better so that you could stay there, that's a different story. But to be like, well, see, that's why I won't stay here. That's ridiculous.
Did you miss the part where she spent the first 5 months of their relationship cleaning his house and then told him she wasn't willing to do it anymore?
Yeah, but that's the point. She shouldn't be cleaning his house. He should. So since she's no longer doing it and he's mad that she won't come spend the night at his house, the only way to fix it is for his house to be cleaner, and she needs to let him know that. It's called communication.
All right.
She needs to tell him clearly, I won't spend the night at your house because it's now a pigsty and I refuse to clean it up all the time. Which, of course, wouldn't make any sense. Why should she clean up the house so that she can go do what he wants? If he wants that so badly, he should fucking clean up the house. I don't understand why it's so difficult for people.
She said it jokingly to him. If you're ever wondering why I'm not comfortable here, take a look at your bathroom window.
Doesn't matter. She still said it.
Right.
Some things shouldn't be joked about, especially when it's a sensitive topic. Like if I had an affair on you and you forgive me, and then I started joking about, oh, that girl's my new girlfriend, you would not appreciate that, and you know it. Because those things should not be joked about. Well, same thing. Level. But I didn't, though, because you're talking about she used to spend the night at his place because she used to clean the house to keep it clean enough. But then she got sick and tired of doing that, and now she won't spend the night at his place because it's a pigsty. And he knows this, and it's an issue for him that she won't spend the night at the house. So making jokes about his place being dirty is exactly the same scenario I just gave you.
The third paragraph in. I don't criticize him or say anything except that I prefer to be at my house and I'm not comfortable with that level of mess.
You're talking from the perspective of the person who's doing it. So of course she doesn't think she criticizes him. Not comfortable
with that level of mess.
It's not criticizing him to say, oh, there's one reason right there why I won't spend the night here. Of course that's criticism. I don't care what you say, that's criticism.
I think he's gross and he deserved it.
Well, did you not hear me say he should be cleaning his house? But that isn't what the topic is here. The topic is here. What she asked, was she an asshole for pointing that out? And I said, if you'll remember, it depends the reason why. She was pointing it out so that he would clean so that she could spend the night there. That's different. But if you're pointing it out just to be like, see, that's why your place is a pigsty. Well, then fuck you. I don't need you to come spend the night. In fact, I'd probably break up with you at that point. What's the point? Like, it's just ridiculous. Those two aren't communicating to one another. They're not talking to one another. They're not understanding one another. Like, I wonder, when she stopped cleaning his house, did she say to him, oh, and if it gets messy, I'm not coming here and staying?
There's no context to be able to answer
And
that
frankly,
question,
considering that they probably live like normal people in a city situation where they're at most maybe a half an hour apart, why does he care whether he has to spend the night at her house or his house?
Couldn't tell you.
I mean, I suppose he would once in a while like it to be an option, but
I wouldn't stay at someone's house who had shit smears on the window either.
no. Like,
and I would
then
probably do the exact same thing.
how did
honestly.
that get there?
I'm sure one of his little kids picked something out of their ass and wiped their hand on the window. Little boys are disgusting to live with. I'm sure you were aware of this since you had two of them.
Yes.
Even teenage boys are disgusting to live with.
They can be.
Unless you end up with like a neat freak like Mitchell.
They most
Mitchell was a
definitely-
neat freak.
Yes. He,
His room was always so clean. And there was never poop smears. Thank you, Mitchell. You're a champion. Thank you, Mitchell, for not being disgusting.
I don't think Mitchell listens to this show, but
Well, I've put it out into the universe.
if he did,
I'm sure he can hear me.
he would
from
appreciate those words.
California.
I don't know. You haven't said your side of it.
I already told you. I think he's disgusting, and I wouldn't stay there, and I'd probably do the exact same thing. So now you think I'm an asshole.
If you did that, you would be. I mean, it's like I said, it isn't about what was said or even how it was said. It was why it was said. I mean, and actually, to me,
Well, you're kind of contradicting yourself now because you said there are certain things that shouldn't be joked with.
yeah, because I was just about to say,
said, not
no,
what was said.
that's when it was said. It was said in close proximity to a bad problem. But it actually makes me feel like she's even bigger an asshole for doing it as a joke, because as I said, there are some things that she shouldn't joke about. So that makes you a bigger asshole.
What's she supposed to do? Come out of the bathroom and be like, yo, there's shit all over your window. This is why I don't stay here. Bye.
No. Hey, I don't know if you know, but somebody did something here and smeared some stuff on the window. Probably should clean that
She
up.
literally said there's no way anyone could have missed it because it was right at eye level while she was sitting on the can.
You know what? As I always say, there's no way that you could miss this and there's no way that you can miss that. And somehow we do. So
I don't know. I don't think she's an asshole at all. Mostly because I think I would handle it the exact same way.
well, then that would make you an asshole too. So if you did that, like I said, now we're going in circles because we just said this. I think that people need to be aware of the other person's feelings about an issue. And now here's the thing. If one of you is a neat freak and one of you is a slob, then the neat freak has to decide, is that a deal breaker? Because it's not fair to the sloppy person to force your lifestyle onto them. Now, pointing out poop smear on a window, that's a different story.
That's
But-
gross even if you are a slob.
But the point being, you can't, as the neat freak, make the slob be clean. And once in a while, you might have to compromise and spend the night there for just one night. It's not going to kill
I don't even think
you.
complaining about a poop smear makes her a neat freak. I
It's not
understand
gonna
you're
kill you.
using an example,
Yes,
but
It's not
it
going to
doesn't
kill
make
you.
she's not a neat freak.
It's not going to
for this
kill you to
context
give
anyway.
in once in a while and go there. You just wouldn't
She
do it
gonna
as
wear a
often.
hazmat suit? Like, there's poop on the window.
In that case, we're not talking about that case. We're talking about slob and neat freak. And neat freak, once in a while, could give in and go spend the night at the slob's house. It would be okay. They're not going to die.
They might. What if they're
They
a
go-
germaphobe?
How do they know it's still messy? They've been there. Oh, wow. Then they must be dead because it would kill them, right? Logic tells you that that's not the case because they're still fucking alive. And they've been there. And if they hadn't been there, then they wouldn't know it's still sloppy.
What if they just opened the door and they were like, nope, bye?
I find, you know what's something kind of interesting and weird to me now that I think about it, though? If she
What?
stopped cleaning the house and the house got so messy that she decided she didn't want to stay there anymore, how is it that she was there at the house staying there?
Did you not listen to it at all? Now I closed it. You're going to have to wait a second.
Well, I listened to it. I'm just not sure maybe that I heard it.
Like I
If
said,
you know what I
just
mean.
Hold on a second.
But I think that it just in general, most of the time, these couple ones, are the two people don't communicate with each other at all. Zero. They kind of go, Ugh. Then she goes, Ugh. Then he goes, Ugh. And that's it. That's like they grunt and groan at one another.
Just as we happened to stop there this weekend and I used the restroom. So he probably stopped to grab something
That makes
or
more
something.
sense. Well, I was small and I missed that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes more sense because I was like, well, why the hell is she there then if it's so
You're right,
nasty?
because the very next line was I looked to my right and at eye level was a dried smear of number 2, which is pretty eye-catching.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was when she was sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
So then why would he see it at eye level if he doesn't go and use that bathroom?
Do men literally never sit on the toilet?
9 out of 10 times we don't.
You don't take a poop, or do you poop
Once
from
a
day.
day.
Air?
Once a day.
That's maybe, once a day. You're sitting down with a poop smear
maybe
at eye
he took
level.
a shit. Maybe he took a shit last night and there was no poop smear. Then there was poop smear.
Maybe he's the one who put the smear.
Maybe he was. Who knows? Maybe it was 5
that's even
people.
worse. She should break up with him.
Well, I think she should break up with him anyway because
So do
she's
I.
too much of a neat freak and he's not, and he never will be.
Complaining about a poop smear does not make her a neat freak.
No, she was cleaning his house
Because
so
his
she
house
could
was
stay
disgusting.
there, and now she's not cleaning his house and she refuses to stay there. That's a neat freak.
My God, I used to go to Calgary.
Or how about this? Instead of neat freak, she likes it neater than he's willing to keep it. So it's never going to work. Calgary.
I used to go to Calgary, spend the weekend with the jackass. And I would get there, and it would be like, you know what our bedroom looks like after I've done laundry but not folded it?
Mm-hmm.
Multiply that by 6, and it's the whole freaking house. One time, so then he would go to work, and then I would do laundry. Basically the entire time I was there.
Sure, that's why it was left the way it was left.
I'm sure it was, which just makes me really mad right now. Anyway, I was there, and it was like 3 months after Canadian Thanksgiving. So I think it was like January. And I found a turkey oven. You've experienced a turkey oven? Like that's a thing here? Okay, a turkey oven. Still with the carcass in it.
Ah.
Does that make me a neat freak to think that's disgusting?
No, it makes you crazy that you didn't break up with him right then. But, that's another story.
He had 2 roommates. I don't necessarily know that was all his fault. But still.
Are you
how
telling
does
me?
One not smell this?
Are you telling me that if we had 3 roommates and one of them left a turkey carcassing, that you wouldn't throw it out yourself and just deal with it?
I think it was under so much laundry that they were just like wondering the source of the smell.
Maybe.
Like ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Maybe. That's just nasty.
Disgusting.
That is so nasty. It's like people do gross and disgusting things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I will say though that when I was younger, I had a lot more tolerance for the people that did that stuff. I don't have that tolerance anymore.
I will give him one tiny piece of credit. The bathroom was always clean when I arrived. That's it. That's the only credit. The rest of the house was disgusting. The bathroom was always
man.
clean.
Like,
no poop smears there.
It's like, you know how I feel about messes, and I always feel better like when the car's been washed. I feel better after we clean the house. It just makes me feel more relaxed.
That's why you like my office so much right now, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
It's pretty damn tidy.
It makes me feel so relaxed. And prior to that, when it's messy, I don't feel so relaxed. And that's not a good way to feel.
Yogi would like everyone to know that he is climbing up on my lap to say hello to his loyal audience.
He says, now spend more money. Well, he is the CEO. What do you think all they think about? Revenue.
You're crazy, Yogi.
Dog. He is silly. I think it's Bree who really runs the show.
I don't know, man. Yogi has been around for an awful long time.
So real quick, before we go, I wanted to mention that, we took a little trip recently to Palm Springs and we had to cross a dry lake. And it was funny, like, because of how terrible signal was everywhere we were, I didn't bother to look it up earlier, but on the drive there, for one thing, that makes dog clickety-clackities. On the drive there, I kept wondering, why is there this giant dirt bed and not a single effing plant grows here? It makes no damn sense. Well, I'm going to tell you it's twofold. It's the salt and the fact that they're mining the salt.
Yeah, they're probably killing whatever plants are considering growing, because if you remember, like right on the sides of the road.
Those
At
little
some spots,
trees
there
with
were little
flowers were
funky
growing.
bushes.
Yeah, it was weird. But it was a weird trip. It was a really weird trip because, we've gone to California to visit the midgets like a billion times. I mean, there's a video out right now of our trip to California to see Mitchell run. And so that's over there on What Happens in Vegas, youtube.com/@ sign. That's the @
Only
sign.
came out a few weeks ago by the time
WHIV.
this episode goes out.
Yeah. So it's there. Check it out. But that's a normal drive. This was not a normal drive.
It was interesting. And I've done it before. At one time I came back from Palm Springs after a work trip, and I drove that way before. And I remember telling you all about the weird lake thing that I drove through. And you were like, You drove through a lake? And I was like, well, there wasn't any water in it. But it said it was a lake on the map.
You know how you had me envisioning it at first way back then? Like,
How?
honestly, even after questioning you, it goes to show that, like, when we're familiar with something and someone isn't familiar with it at all, so they're not able to ask the most accurate of questions, how our own familiarity kind of speaks to the answers. You had me envisioning a road going through the middle of a massive body of water, but like almost like an infinity pool, just like coming right up and touching the edge of the road.
But I told you there was no water.
That's what you had me envision. No, you didn't,
gosh.
though. You said you went through a lake. It wasn't until much later that you told me that there was no water. And so at first I was like, it doesn't seem safe. It doesn't seem normal. How do you turn around? Like, what the hell? 100 miles of nothing but water? What if you break down out there? Like, how do you get rescued?
I will also tell you that the lake, it felt like it was way bigger on the way home than it did on the way there. Like, even when you drove, it felt like it was like a little lake blip. And when we drove home, it felt like we were on that.
It didn't feel like a blip to me when I was driving. It felt like I was on it forever. Well, if you really think about it, it was probably half the drive was that area between
it was the
Nipton,
Amboy
between
Road,
Nipton,
and it was 34 miles.
Between Nipton and like the highway to Palm Springs.
Uh-huh.
That was probably 2 hours of the 4-hour drive.
Well, totally. But it wasn't all lake. The lake was only the Amboy
No, but that's
Road.
just crazy though. Like that's half the drive right there.
We drove through the Mojave National Preserve, and it's really pretty.
Yeah, it is actually.
There's a Joshua tree forest. Yes, I whisper forest because Joshua trees aren't friggin'
There's also a Joshua Tree National Park over there.
Yeah, that's all the way by
It's
Palm
probably
Springs,
full of Joshua trees.
You know what's interesting? Okay. When I was there on my work trip, I remember having this conversation with the person I was with, and I was like, they call it Joshua Tree National Park, but I don't see any of the stupid trees around because there was none in 29 Palms. There was none along the highway. Like, they must be on the other side of those stupid little hill things, like the Mount Shasta that we drove past. You didn't look at the street signs to see what the mountains were called.
I'm just wondering what you're talking about because the Joshua trees were those things on the side of the road.
Yes, but those were in the Mojave National Preserve, which was far away from Joshua Tree National Park.
Yeah, but we didn't go into Joshua Tree National Park.
But we
it was
drove
to the left.
past it, and I didn't see any Joshua trees. Anyway, so when I was coming back, we drove through Joshua Tree National Park past first, and I was like, there's no Joshua trees. This is stupid. Because I wanted to point out to my friend what a Joshua tree looked like and how dumb they are, because you know how much I like to rant about how they're not really trees. And then we got to the Mojave National Preserve, and I was like, these assholes, these are Joshua trees. She agreed with me that they're stupid, by the way. Mm-hmm.
They're trees, man.
They're stupid.
They have branches. They have branches. They have leaves. They're trees.
Uh-huh. They're cactuses.
Baby could tell you they're trees.
They're cactuses.
But it was
it's a good trip.
A really good time. We made exceptional time back and forth. You drove on the way home again. I drove on the way there. That seems to be our pattern these days.
I like the way that we did it before better, where I drove for half the trip and you drove for half the trip, because then it doesn't feel quite so monotonous. But that's almost impossible to do on the trip that we just took, because there's like nowhere to pull over.
No place to stop. You would have had to stop like in...
Oh God, we'd have had to stop in Amboy.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, that, now that we've beaten the dead horse twice, that's all I got for you.
Well, good night, everyone.
Still a bye-bye.